Vacation, Laurie Kilmartin.
Laurie, do you remember last week when you said, I don't have any sets this week? And then every day I look at your thing and you're like, I'm doing a set. I'm driving here. I'm going there.
No, I didn't. I did.
No?
I had one set on Tuesday at the Akbar, Bruce Daniels show.
I was totally jealous of that. Maybe that's what
it
it was.
was a lot of fun because
I was jealous
Laura
of all of your. Yeah.
That was it though. Laura House and Aaron Foley were there, and I haven't seen either of them in a while. I haven't seen Aaron in a long. Aaron was so funny. She's like, I'm just getting back up on stage. She killed like she'd been just doing 20 sets a week. And then
that's what Laura told me. Yeah.
Well, and then Laura was going to go last, and they're going to have me go in front of Laura. And Laura's like, I'm just going to do some new stuff. I'm not going to do very well. So they flipped us, and she freaking kills with hilarious stuff. I'm like, don't make me follow you. How dare you? She set me up, that Laura House.
Right. You got set up, but I'll tell you something. 3 killers in a row. There's no way you could just juggle that, and everybody's up in the air at once. That's a great show. Yeah.
And then I didn't have a set on Wednesday. I didn't have a set on Thanksgiving, of course. Friday. I didn't put it for Friday because I figured I'm driving back from San Diego, and who knows what's going to happen. And
did you go to San Diego for Thanksgiving?
We did. I have cousins. I have
nice.
The Kilmartin cousins. There's 9 of them. That my sister and I used to always go to my Uncle Jack's house for Thanksgiving. It was a tradition. And then the 9 started getting married and having kids. And now there's all these crazy branches all over the country. Everyone moved. Only one cousin is still in the Bay Area. And so there's a San Diego faction, and it's my cousin Shannon, and she has 3 kids, and they all had like 3 or 4, everyone's got kids. And so I brought my son, and, it's just like me and my son most of the time now.
Yeah.
So we're a very tiny little family. And it was just nice to have him be around, the chaos of multiple families, 2 parents, all 2-parent families, everyone,
but lots and lots of cousins, like all of his cousins.
Yes. And so, obviously because of COVID, we haven't done that for a while. So, that was really fun. And then I brought Charmy, and I get a hotel.
Did she charm everyone?
Well, here we go. So I got a giant crate, right, to put her in, right? So I rented a car. She and the crate weren't going to fit in the little Corolla, which you have the same exact car as me. So I rented a car. And plus I was like, there's assholes. If I'm going to get in a crash, I don't want it to be my car. I want it to be. So we're checking things off, and they're like, and no dogs, right? I'm like, what? And I go, what? And they go, well, we just can't have any dog hair. So I thought he was winking, saying, as long as we don't find dog hair, we're not gonna notice, right? So, Charmy's a pit bull. They don't shed hardly at all anyway, so it's not a big problem.
Right.
We went to Del Mar Dog Beach.
Okay.
And so I haven't taken her to a dog park in a while. She can be a little sensitive.
Pit bully? Okay. She's a very sweet dog, but she's super energetic.
Sensitive. I like to say sensitive, not pit bully. And and so all the dogs are loose, and Charmy has got a harness on and the leash that I can grab it, and my son can grab it any second if she starts to run, right? We're right next to her the whole time. We just want to throw the ball, get her in the ocean, tire her out so she can sit in a crate in a hotel for 5 hours without freaking out, right?
Right.
And so we're there for like 45 minutes. She's having a great time. She's like jumping into the surf, which she's never done. That was fun to watch, And then she's back around me, and some little pugs, somebody with their fucking pugs, they start sniffing her ass. She doesn't like it. She barks really hard. And the pug's owner, of course, is like this 8-foot tall white guy. No offense, Kyle. And he starts being like, you know how men are at the dog park? Like they think they're, this dog is, and I'm like, get your fucking pug away from her ass. Like we are controlling our dog. She is under our control. She's not comfortable. And you guys should just make sure that she's not being
Your
bothered.
dogs are controlled. Yeah.
Yes, I'm like blocking her from, any dogs, and the other dogs are roaming free. Now, granted, they are more comfortable around other dogs. I'm sure they go to this dog beach all the time. That's why we have her still on a leash and still in a harness so we can grab her, and just stay around her and keep her close. And just lead her to the ocean where we're, just like to a separate spot. So that kind of harshed our vibe. I told my son, I'm like, we're staying here another hour. And he's like, I don't, just to be.
He's like, Mom, why confrontation? Yeah. Well, because hecklers need to be put down.
Yes, exactly. So we did go back in the car, and then she did okay in the crate. Apparently there's no noise, and then when I came back, I'm like, oh, it does smell like dog in here. So I was like, let me get a Christmas tree, and I'll just replace the smell of dog.
I did not see it going in that direction. I did not. That was a hard. Right.
Yes.
All right.
So I dropped
Pine fresh.
And then we go to the Christmas tree place in Sherman Oaks and get a giant tree, and then I leave it in the car for 2 hours. It's all bent now, but then the car smelled like Christmas tree, and then I returned it, and guess what? No big deal. No extra charges.
That's good. You could have bought wreaths. You could have just gone to a car place and had them put pine scent in.
Well, I mean,
but you needed a tree. But do you always get a tree this early? When do you always get a tree right after Thanksgiving?
Jackie, I don't have a tradition of getting a tree on a certain day. I was just like, this works. I rented it.
We do.
Well, I rented an SUV, and so it was big. I mean, if I were sticking my tree in the Corolla, it's sticking out the back. I got to put red flags all over it. So I'm like, this all worked. I'm not saying it wasn't a good plan. I would have liked to know that, well, the day after Thanksgiving, my son and I, we always go and we get the big tree. I was just trying to build a Hallmark movie around it, and then you would meet a guy named Ted and live happily ever after. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that whenever we get the tree, we get it on top of the Corolla, our Corolla, and they just tie it on top. We take it carry it in. It could fall out. It could fall off.
No, it's tied down by professional tree tiers.
That's a profession we study for. Yes. Sure.
Have you never seen a Hallmark movie? I have not, actually, which is weird because you would think I would be the one.
Don McMillan, I had to follow him twice at Comedy and Magic last night. That was my only other set was a Comedy and Magic on Saturday. And he closes on a Hallmark movie premise generator, and it crushes. And I'm like, I'm gonna come out with COVID jokes next. So it was really funny. It's anyway, that's all. I just you reminded me.
I picked up a last minute. Rita called me at like 6:00 to say, could you do a 7:40 set at the Improv?
Oh, nice.
And I was like, yeah, of course I can. I was so tired, but I was supposed to do laser, the double clicks?
Yeah.
Whatever. So I was supposed to do a laser online show, but I was like, they had texted me and said, if you don't have the spoons to do it, it's fine. Guess who has never heard the term, do you have the spoons to do it? Me. I ran out of steam is what it means. And yes, I didn't have the spoons or the steam to do both. I did have the steam, I guess, or the spoons to drive to Hollywood and do 15 minutes. Moshe Kasher, Erica Rhodes, myself. Nice. Great lineup. There was a table of like 8 people, 4 women in the front row, 4 dudes behind them. And the women, through my entire set, genuinely out loud to each other at this tone of voice, she's so funny. She's really funny. And I was like, you know what? This isn't the time to celebrate how funny that last joke was. You got to keep it. Don't break up into a discussion group. I got another 11 minutes. And so I ended up doing half of 3 new jokes, most of 3 very old jokes, and a little bit of crowd riffing. And there was a guy with his boots just spread out, like he was like, there's not enough room under my table. I'm squished against the stage. So he had his boots straight out under the bench of the piano. And I said, well, good news. I'm never going to be over there. But know that someone who might be, or someone who cares more than me, might mock you.
I bet he was the guy at the dog park who was like,
he might have been. Pointy beard?
No, this is this was a San Diego white guy. Had like, blonde hair.
Okay. I realized this week that Andy's friends are essentially my friends. 20 years later, they're our friends. We're in this together.
Right.
Yeah. So, because I was telling someone about people coming over on Friday. I was like, oh, Andy had a bunch of his friends over. Nope. No, they're our friends. They're all of our. It was, we were going to make Thanksgiving on Friday with Andy's cousin who lives over towards Pasadena and his mom. And then we were going to invite some people over to game, a bunch of Andy's friends, our friends. And so I read this is a long one. So
okay.
The turkey, I read an article, I read a recipe to make spatchcocked turkey.
Yeah.
Spatchcocked, of course, is when they remove the back and they spread it, it's flat. And so I had the butcher spatchcock it for me.
Wait, you said, of course, like I would even know any of the words you just mentioned.
Right. Spatchcock. It's mostly
like
done with chicken.
English. Yeah, it sounds like an old English word, spatchcock.
It usually means that it's been cut down. The guy who did it, I think he did it backwards. You're supposed to leave the back on, and he took the back off, so he spatchcocked it in the wrong direction. And you're supposed to split it down the breastbone. And then spread it out. But he took the back out, so it was spatchcocked backwards. It was a 15-pound turkey. I didn't look at it. I just grabbed a big turkey. I think they were all 15 pounds. I don't have a pan big enough to put a spatchcock turkey of 50. So anyway, I cut it up into what looks like a chicken pieces, kind of. I just sort of... And then I baked it, and I don't know how to make stuffing, because stuffing isn't my jam. But so I do know how to make chicken bread. So I did all the parts of this stuffing, which is carrots and celery and onion and herbs, and then a bunch of bread underneath the turkey. I've lost Kyle. I don't blame any of you. I don't blame any of you.
I was just thinking about how all I did was buy cakes at Portos and how wonderful that was.
You stood in line. You stood in line at Portos, which I wouldn't stand in line to meet Jesus.
I didn't stand in line. You are incorrect. I ordered online and I showed up and they had them for me. Take it back.
All right, I take it back. Thank God you didn't stand in line. I wouldn't stand in line at Portos. Every time I've driven by, there's a line. I'm like, well, I guess I don't care that much. And by the way, every time I've eaten there, it's been fine.
Yeah,
but it certainly isn't worth standing in line.
I don't understand it.
Even those those Puerto Rican potato balls, which are delicious, you can get them at my Ipapa Que Rico right over here. Okay, so anyway, I made turkey bread. Delicious. Turkey worked out. I also did, but I just realized that they fucking spatchcocked it the wrong way, which is one of the reasons it didn't work. And
Jackie,
then the potatoes were also weird.
Can we say they cockspatched it? That's what keeps going through my brain. It's backwards.
Cockspatched it. They did cockspatch it. That could be the name of the show. Cockspatch. Yeah. That's it. Ow. Fuck. I just hit my finger. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
What did you hit it with a pen? What? You're fine.
I don't know what's happening. The world's gone mad. All I know is I've spent the last 12 days every day in the hospital with my mother-in-law, and there's been no. It's cut into my sitting around time even more. You'd think not, but you got to drive to Santa Monica. So
every couple weeks, I look at my son's grades and I have a massive anxiety attack. And so that was today. That was like maybe right before this podcast started.
Oh, wow.
There's like a portal. You're not a parent, so you don't know this, but there's a portal you can check constantly to look at your children's grades. And it fluctuates all the time. It's not like you get it every 6 months. They're constantly being updated. you know, like it's just.
I'm sure the
it's like-
teachers love that.
It's like flight times or something. It's always
yeah.
available. And so every once in a while I'll peek and I was like, oh my fucking God, what have I done?
Is he going to graduate?
Oh yeah, he'll graduate.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine then. I guess I won't worry.
I have 5 siblings. Two of them didn't graduate, I don't think.
From high school?
Well, they might have. Yeah. I think Terry got his GED. I believe Phil graduated, but no one was more surprised than Phil. And Scott graduated against his very will to some extent. Russ and Darla, of course, cared more than all of us, and then I was forced to care. So
well, then you all graduated, it sounded like. So Jackie,
no, Terry
walk
didn't.
that back. Walk it back. Oh, okay.
Terry didn't graduate, and my dad never graduated. So
that doesn't comfort me.
I thought it might, but everybody's very successful. Are you kidding? My brother Terry has a cult. It's real nice.
Oh, well,
yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm just, you know, it feels like too late, and I'm like, I never should have let him get on YouTube. I can't, you know, he's always making videos, and that's what he spent. He's supposed, you know, he was sick on Monday and Tuesday, so he missed school, and he was, you know, supposed to do his homework today, and he didn't. He just made a bunch of videos for his channel, and I don't know. What have I done?
Right.
You know what? I was just listening to Portos podcast, and he was talking about Oliver and all the stuff Oliver does, and I'm like, my kid doesn't do that stuff. God damn it! What have I done?
Right. You can't. Well. Apples and oranges. Can't do it.
I know.
Can't. Yep. It's but I'll tell you something. Oliver, different kind of artist. Different kind of artist kid. Yeah.
No, great kid. Great kid. Yes.
Great kid. I will say that I have been working so hard on writing bits on pieces of paper and in my head. I need so much more stage time. And granted, I've only been home 5 days.
No, me too.
But I'm not going out again. I'm not going out again until Pearl Harbor Day.
Yeah.
That was fun for me to say.
And are you going out because it's Pearl Harbor Day? Is that a celebratory day for you?
Yeah, I like to go to Normandy, and what I would go to, I guess I would go to.
That's the other war.
Wrong theater. Wrong theater. And no, I'm going to Ann Arbor. I'm going to Ann Arbor, Michigan, to do Ann Arbor Showcase.
Yeah, Roger Vini's room.
Yeah, staying hopefully at the good hotel. And,
do you know?
Well, every year I text him and make sure, and every year it's worked out.
You have since taught me, since our recent experience together, to double check the hotel.
Always.
That it's not a condo.
There's no reason not to double check. You got to double check the money. I did half of the Pittsburgh, West Virginia run, or one night I had it wrong, and one night they had it wrong.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out right now. Don't Tell wants me to tape.
Cool. That's
I don't know how long. Is it? Does it pay?
It pays a little bit, I think. Oh, I don't know. It probably depends on the person, but they will get you so many views on their channels. It's great.
Okay, then I just have to figure out the set.
It'll
and
look
I don't know how
great. Yeah.
If I look great, I would have to make some
You'll
sort of
look
effort
great.
to.
No, but the way they tape it looks better than other specials that don't have their budget. Or I don't know. I don't know how they do their magic, their alchemy, but they all look good.
Did you hear about that PPP that they got, which is what helped them do a lot of advertising and buy all their equipment? Remember that? That was in the
PPP loan. Yeah, I got one too.
It was a grant, PPP grant.
Well, it's a
you don't have to.
PPP loan.
It was the one that it wasn't.
The one that. So then it's not the PPP; it's something else. There was I'm sure there was tons of little things you could apply for during COVID.
It was the big one from the federal government, not the small. I got a loan, and it wasn't a PPP. But
an
I got
SBA loan.
Yeah, I got the SBA.
Yeah,
loan.
I have an SBA loan too. Do you know I'll be paying it back till I'm 85 years old?
Well, I
will.
I'm not going to say the thing that I'm not going to.
What?
About being 85. You'll show them is what I thought about saying.
But yeah, that's cool. I mean, they all look super. Every clip I watch of theirs, it just looks. They've got the slow moving cam, the dolly cam, I guess, and then they've got They just edit it really well. Looks
Well,
nice.
it makes me want to do all the bits that have already gone viral. That then they'll also get good. And I was also thinking of listening to my Hero album, which is not filmed anywhere, and doing stuff off of the Hero album.
Yeah.
Because then there would be video of that, which it's filmed. Like I did some of those jokes, I think, on NPR and on Two Dope Queens. So there are clips of a couple of those jokes, like the menopause joke, the Terrigen Mist. That might be one. I don't know.
Ask, just double check with them. Do they want brand new material, brand new to the internet material, or what? But I mean, I don't know.
I'm not going to ask that, but I will read the contract.
Read the contract, I guess.
Let me just tell you, when I was in, where was I? Oh, we were in the Middle East. April Macy and Alicia Cooper and Vargas Mason, and Vargas got hurt, and so we continued to travel. And Vargas, I distinctly remember him asking both April and Alicia. He said, "I told these guys that the shows were PG. If you guys could not swear or talk about sex, that'd be great." And April went into a spiral of, what am I going to talk about? And Vargas walked away, and Alicia goes, "Do whatever you want." And then
that's like me at the rental car company and them going, there's no dogs. Oh, really? Well, I'm renting this car so I can have a dog in the car. So,
right. Well, and then when Vargas got hurt and he was on the hospital bed getting ready to be shipped home, he said, "Jackie, can you figure out a way to get those guys to be cleaner on stage?" And I said, "No." I'm so sorry. I can't. All you can do is you have to. It was, and then my friend Darlene Westcor. I don't know if you ever met her out of Minneapolis.
I know Darlene. Of course I do. She was on Nick's Funniest Mom. I think she won it one year.
She did one. She won it the first year. Yeah.
Yes.
And that was the year. It had to be 2005 because that was the year I did the 9-week run in Australia. And she called me in Australia, and she was like, "I don't think I realized what Nickelodeon was." And I don't know if my material's going to work. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I don't have any other material. I was like, yeah, you only have the material you have.
I worked for the second season of that show.
Oh, did you?
That's when I got pregnant. It was during that second season of writing for it.
Wow.
And Nick, they were like, yeah, you'll get a deal with Nickelodeon. And it sounds great. And then you're like, wait, Nickelodeon. And I don't think the second winner, I don't think anything happened with her either.
No, but with Darlene, they did actually, they shot a pilot.
And they didn't pick up their own pilot that they produced.
That they produced. They did not pick up their own pilot, but she had a really good time.
Cool.
And she made kind of a bag of money. So,
does she live in Vegas, or am I thinking of somebody else?
You're thinking of someone else. She lives in Minnesota, and she recently got married.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
cool.
She hasn't done stand up, I don't think, in like 3 or 4 years. So,
what's her? Oh, that's how come she could get married. That's my theory. You can't get married if you're an active comic, Jackie,
right.
And you are the exception. Stop trotting Andy out like he's the example we should all follow. It never happens for anyone else.
It does, and yes, and he is the example. He's a great example. He's a delightful example.
He is. So, he's the only one. You got him, so knock it off. It's painful for the rest of us.
An only child. He has step siblings. So, well, go ahead.
Oh no, something you said reminded me that Linda Evangelista, do you know who she is? She's one of the supermodels, and Apple has this series called The Supermodels. That's a look back at the big four from the 90s. Linda Evangelista, Naomi Campbell, Christy Turlington, and Cindy Crawford, right?
Okay.
You would, if we were to pull up a picture of Evangelista, you would go, oh, her. She's got this classic like 1950s Italian sort of look, right? And someone asked
Does
her
she
if
look like
wanted...
Sophia Loren?
Yes, she does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Taller and like skinnier, but yeah, she has that kind of face. And someone asked her if she ever wanted to get remarried, and she said, I don't want to hear anyone else breathing in my house. And I loved it. I was like, I get it. Yes.
Wow.
Well, who knows? I guess I'm not going to go the Darlene Westcor way. So she doesn't do stand-up. Does she miss it?
I don't know. I talked to her really briefly, probably a year ago, 6 months ago. And I hadn't talked to her in several years. I just called her up to congratulate her because I heard on the grapevine she got married. And she was like, I'm psyched. I'm happy. He's really nice. And I was like, good. Since she went out with Dave Mornall for a long time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's got to be a tough one.
Well, he's just grumpy.
Yeah,
the guy eats once a day and he eats meatloaf. I mean,
really?
It's not great. Yeah, he's. I look to the first season of Last Comic Standing, you guys. Dave Mornall.
Oh yeah, I went to do radio in Minneapolis, and he was the guy I was talking to, and he didn't even say. They're just like, "Here's the radio guy, Dave," and I was like, "Hey, Dave," and then I'm like, "Oh, that's Dave Mornall." No one's introduced him. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm a fellow comic. Hi," or anything like that. Weirdo.
Right, and he stopped doing stand up, and after he was like, he didn't win Last Comic Standing like Dat Fan did, but he won Last Comic Standing. Like
emotionally, creatively.
Well, he got so much work off of it. And then he got the radio gig. And then he could stay home and help raise his son, and he helped to raise his son. What? I'll be over here judging.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't jump in to rescue any single dad's reputation. You noticed that?
Right. Well, his parents essentially were raising his son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so he was also involved. He would probably say, "Fuck you, Jackie." I was more than but definitely more when he got to stay home, when he stopped doing stand up and
oh yeah. I've been doing way more since COVID. So you know what though? Okay, so I get this email. I'm supposed to be in Utah this Friday night at Boxcar Comedy Club.
Yeah.
So I get an email from Bruce. The club, the lease, I guess, was being renewed, and this is what we are told. Now, I don't know. It sounds so fishy. It's so crazy. They wanted to raise the rent so astronomically that he's closing the club starting December 1st, which is my date. So, and now we're just trying to get me reimbursed for the airfare I spent, which I don't know if that's going to happen. It just. And I called I DM'd another comic who's also listed on the lineup for December, and he hadn't heard anything.
Oh God!
And
he had not been told.
You could still buy tickets for my show. It's really strange. It's not like I was like, did they replace me with Dave Chappelle? Which I would understand, but no, it's just when I looked this afternoon, you could still buy a ticket. It was really strange. So I don't know.
Call the box office.
That depressed me. Okay, I'll try it.
If you call that's how we found out what time our shows were in Austin. I called the box office because of the communication errors.
Right.
So I recommend you call the box office of the Boxcar and say, "Hi, so do you guys have shows this weekend?" And matter of fact, I wish we had, and I bet you Riverside FM does have that. I wish we could just do a live call right now. Hey, that'd be so fun.
That just seems insane that you wouldn't know, you wouldn't have negotiated the rest of the year or the next year, like you're arguing up until the very end, and then you just, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem great.
And you're calling comics December,
Yeah.
Christmas month, saying, "Oh, you don't have that income that you're expecting that weekend.
Yeah.
You don't have it."
4 days before you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
5 days before you're supposed to go.
And I'm still going to New York on Saturday. So now I had to buy a second ticket leaving from Burbank to New York, because initially I was leaving from Salt Lake, and it was one of those cheap American ones where it's like if you cancel you can't change anything. It's very bare bones. So I'm eating that, and then I have to buy a new ticket because I have 6 spots at the stand on Saturday night. So I'm still going to be there.
Right. You could go to New York on Friday.
I am.
Oh, okay.
That's a new ticket I bought. But I mean, that's an extra price. That's an extra fee as well,
Yeah. But then you'll spend Friday and Saturday picking up 1,000 sets.
No, Friday I don't get in till midnight. So,
Oh, shoot.
It's just a Saturday. My weekend was Friday night in Utah, Saturday at the stand.
No, I know, but you can't. They've already filled those spots, I guess, huh?
I don't know.
The
cheapest flight I got was
you in at midnight. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'm caught up. So sorry.
That's okay.
I emailed Esty and said that I would do another Vegas week.
Did she get back to you?
Yeah. I'm sure it's available. Let me just say. But I'm going it's in March when Andy's also. There's a thing called Dice Tower that he goes. It's a board game convention, and so I was planning on staying home that week to be with his mom, but he said that we would find someone to stay with her, and I was like, my friend, I will go. I will do this if you
now
think
he
that
has
you
a
can.
Free hotel.
He does have a free hotel at the Rio, though. So is that something? And. Give and take. It's here's the T-shirt of my dad's cow.
Oh, I love it. Cute. I love all the flowers.
Yeah, my father was feeling whimsical, and so I remember the "Kills Like a Guy" T-shirt, the Jackie and Laurie show T-shirt. So this was also printed at Sticker Mule, and just to see what it looked like. And Andy was like, the image is too large. And I was like, you have a choice at Sticker Mule. You can either get a pocket-sized, something that's slightly too small right in the center, or full size of the shirt. And so...
What if you took the image and made a black border around it and then had the actual image inside the border so that black border would seamlessly mix with the black of the shirt so it would actually be smaller?
Trixie. Nice work. That's not bad.
Well,
all right.
next
I'll
time,
ask him. And it's not over because all of my nieces and nephews want not all of them, but several nieces and nephews want shirts. So
Jackie.
Yeah.
It's over. It's over.
I have one set this week,
over.
by the way. And it's next Sunday at the Crow with Laura House.
Nice. Yeah. I'm not getting enough stage time either. I felt really rusty at Comedy Magic, and it's where I was somebody else was saying at the table, they're talking about grind culture in New York versus LA. And someone was saying, well, what I do is I transcribe each of my sets and that's working smarter. And I'm like, maybe, but I mean, just standing up in front of strangers is what I need. Yeah. That's what stage time is to me. It's not the set necessarily. It's the being in front of people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, before we take a deep dive into the philosophy of why we need stage time, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And now let's do Comic of the Week. You found her.
Oh, yeah. She popped up on my Instagram. Her name's Esther Fallick. Now, I didn't pick up on because
I was like,
Fallick.
Is it spelled phallic? Phallic? And you said no.
It's
and it might be pronounced Fallick.
We all said it out loud for the first time at the same time.
So what popped up on my Instagram was stand up. That was funny. And then, so I threw her in the bowl that we stick our hand into metaphorically, every week and pull out. And then I was looking further today, and it's a lot of cabaret. She does a lot of cabaret stuff in New York, but it's funny cabaret. So it's like, does that count? But you know what? Yeah, I'm inclusive of music and people that do music and people that know chords and notes. Yes. Yes.
That's it. So just funny. That's all you're looking for. You're looking for some just funny entertainment.
Performer. Yeah.
And if she calls herself a stand-up, she's a stand-up. It's a lot like many things. If you call yourself, did I ever tell you, who was it? Was it John Lovitz? Yeah, Maria told me once that
that guy's going off about Israel on Twitter right now.
Oh, is he? Well, he came up to Maria at the Improv one time and said, "Do you consider what you do stand-up comedy?"
Oh my God.
And she said, "Well, this is a stand-up comedy club and I just went up, so yes." And that's where she left it.
Wow. Well, that not his views on the Israel-Gaza situation are not surprising to me when I hear that he would ask Maria that question,
Oh, wow. I'm reading a new Substack that came to me via Rory Scovel and another guy. The guy who,
are you writing it in the chat?
Well, I'm trying to find her name. It's Heather Cox, I think, is her. She's
familiar,
doesn't it?
Is she a comic?
She isn't. She's a Heather Cox Richardson, and her Substack is annotated, like it's daily news, right? And I'm essentially I'm on her email list, and every day she sends out sort of news of the previous day, some analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And various, and then on the bottom, all of the sources of where she got all this information. How much do I love a source? And her sources are like AP, a couple of AP news, and then whitehouse.gov briefing room, and then NBC, AP News, something called J-Post.
Jerusalem Post.
Okay. UN.org. BBC.com and New York Times. And so it's a pretty good cross section. I mean, and that was today, and that was just about Gaza and the change of the hostages and stuff. So, but like on other days, it's the Guardian, and it's, and it's and much like the Jerusalem Post, it is wherever the news is from, she'll get the local take. Whether or not it's to be trusted or not it is a perspective. So that's the cool thing about it.
Okay. That's
essentially
check out.
Additional reading. And what it's done is, because I get it every morning, and I was like, and it's so much work. I look at it and I'm like, do you have a team? Who is helping with your Substack?
Are you paying for it? Is it free?
Not yet, because I've only been doing it for 4 or 5 days. And I don't know if but I'm willing to. I think people do pay for it. I think Substack is something where you can pay like a Patreon kind of thing, or subscribers.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just there's somebody I subscribe to. That's I'll put it in next week. That's really good. He's a writer. He wrote My Beautiful Laundrette, and he was just had a freak accident when he was on vacation in Italy and is completely paralyzed for the rest of his life. He writes by talking to his son. His son transcribes, and he puts out something every single week. And he's such a great writer. But the shock of having that sort of accident, and what going through, and how your life has changed and will be. There's no going back. I think there's we're always like hoping things get better. Like when someone gets COVID, I hope it's brief. You kind of do all that kind of stuff. And this is a guy going, it's not, this is the rest of my life will be
right.
Like
it's not reversible. You can't.
And he's very depressed. He's not like, automatically like, well, all right, I'll deal with this. Like you're like, yeah, that's It's fucking
Right.
awful.
All the stages of whatever to
Right.
figure out how to live with it. And it just happened like a year ago.
Maybe like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Wow.
And he
But
was in
soon.
a hospital in Italy for a long time, then one in the UK, and now he's going home to his house, which is nice, but they have to renovate everything to accommodate him, and that costs a shitload of money. And not that My Beautiful Laundrette didn't make some money, but nothing's making that much money.
That you can live
You know?
off it forever. Yeah. I mean, it's not like Star Wars.
Right.
And yeah.
Unless did you read any of the Matt Rife discourse this week?
No, but I heard about it through the thread, of course, is that there was some his new special came out, and what is it, his third special? Matt Rife, TikTok sensation.
I don't know.
Polite young man. This is what I know about him, right? So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's just making so much money, and
what
it
was
all
the drama?
happened
Yeah,
in the last year. That's like the thing that I'm obsessed with is how quickly it happened. According to him, like he was struggling even maybe like a year and a half ago to basically, fill a room, kind of like the rest of us are. And now he's on some world tour with 200 plus dates and just making fucking gobs. It's such a strange and immediate catapult to a different level for a stand-up that it's bizarre. And he did a special and I watched it, and I guess what was weird to me was what he does really well is crowd work. He's very charming, and he's clearly activated by the audience. Right. And so I guess a whole bunch of people told him, "You're not a real comic." So he did an all material special, and he didn't. It was fine. It's not my thing, but whatever. But he did really well, right?
Right.
But then at the very end, he after the credits, he started fucking around with the crowd, and he looked a million times happier.
Yeah.
Just in this one little exchange with somebody.
I bet.
And it's just like, if that's what you're good at, who cares? Enjoy it. It's so like you're filling up rooms, and you can just go out there and talk to people and kill.
Doing the thing you love?
That's fucking amazing.
That's the idea.
That's the dream. And comics that are joke writers, that's what their dream is too. And I don't know. It's weird. We all want the respect of our peers, maybe, or not all of us, but it seemed like it was motivated by that. Like he'd been told one too many times that he was just a crowd work guy.
Yeah. I just looked him up. This is one special, I guess.
The Netflix
this is
special,
his first. Yeah. And he opened with some domestic abuse joke that I heard in 1984.
Right.
And
I know.
Yeah.
Could we put out a service? Like, we're available to tell you if that joke's been done.
Yeah. Why don't you hand me $100? You'll tell me the joke, and I'll be like, that's not bad. I have not heard that take on it.
We've heard it all, right? And he did a joke that I dropped in the 90s because Dave Attell was doing it. Remember back in the 90s, Jackie, there's comics on the East Coast that we didn't even know who they were. We didn't know they existed unless they came and worked your hometown. And so you didn't know what material anyone was doing. They didn't know what you were doing on the West Coast. You could be doing similar stuff and not have any idea, right? And so I had a joke about, basically the joke is the vagina is an innie. And then Dave Attell did a version where he just said his penis is an innie, like it's that small. And I was like, oh, I'll drop mine. That's fine. But then Matt Rife just did it in his special, and I was like,
I had an innie vagina joke, and I was in the middle of Wisconsin. Yeah, I did.
Yes. I mean, it's right there. It's right there. But I think
inside of us, though. It's inside of us.
It's inaccessible. But maybe there's so many comics coming up now that don't even know that stuff's been done a million times because they thought of it. I can see that happening, right?
Of course.
And
when you first start doing stand-up, you have no idea. Yeah. Even in this age.
Yes, old timers like us to go, well, no, that's been, because you know what? I did a joke that was similar to a the stuff joke George Carlin was doing, the George Carlin, watch my stuff. And I had no idea because I didn't even have HBO back. You had to have HBO to have seen it.
Yeah.
And someone told me, I was like, oh shit. So you can't watch all comedy. People are writing in their own bubble and stuff. But oh my gosh. So when I saw Annie, I was like, no one told you that. No one told you that joke is so fucking old. Oh,
right.
Whatever.
I have to say, more Dave Mordahl stories. Probably 1994. Dave, Matt Weinhold, and I were sitting around at the bar at Knuckleheads at the Mall of America, and Dave was very, very angry because he was in LA or he was somewhere, and he heard someone do there's now a divorced Barbie, and she has all of Ken's stuff. And Matt Weinhold just looked at him and just said, just write another joke, man. That's not the hill to die on. He didn't say that, but it was like, I mean, when you think about like the jokes that everybody's doing, it is like there's no joke that can't be replaced by a better joke if three people are doing it. Pick another angle, pick another layer.
Yeah, and there's always another angle. You just have to move it around a little bit. There is another way to get to, to talk about a subject if someone else is doing it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you can tell they deliberately lifted it from you,
Right.
Like,
which
I'm
I don't
sorry,
know how you...
Bananus. That's fucking mine, and everyone will tell you.
No one will tell you that, but Laurie will tell you. She'll talk about the bananus.
Every Bay Area comic will tell you.
I will say that her last words will be bananas. She will have paid off her SBA loan, and then she'll say bananas.
No, yes, I'll pay it off, and on my headstone, bananus was mine. Please spell bananas right.
Oh, God.
Is that BANANUS?
BANA. Hold on, let me spell it out.
I'm literally typing it out as you said it, so I was like, let me check.
Okay, that's right.
This is also a good clock eater. There we go. Great.
That's right.
How to spell bananas. It's a real... What is the mystery? How is it? Oh, did you type it? Okay. Let's take another break at this fascinating. And then what? I could tell another great turkey story. No, I'm going to spare us all. Andy made a bunch of pies, though, which is unfortunate because I need to stop eating things like pie. But we have 2 pecan and 2 pumpkin. And Chris has been in the hospital for 12 days. Tomorrow I'm bringing the nurses a pumpkin pie that Andy made.
That's a long time. Is she going to go into like a rehab soon or what? Is she...
No, we're hoping to bring her home on Tuesday.
Okay.
But we don't know. She's got, there's issues, right?
Right.
She's got O2, CO2, blood cell business, heart, fluid, lung things.
Fuck.
And she's irritated. Why wouldn't she be? She's been in even a very nice hospital. I will say this, Andy had a very funny joke this week. She is now, her room is in the postpartum wing. And Andy said, I'm trying not to take it personally.
That's tough, Yeah. And that seems like stuff that's going to be an ongoing problem that,
Yeah. Well, it's sort of really like you can't fix some stuff at certain ages, you have to just figure out what you're going to do next.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to go on a small Christmas vacation up to Cambria to see Santa explode or Dickens explode or whatever. Some sort of great design. Like there's a Christmas thing over by Hearst Castle and it's supposed to be very pretty. And Chris went there once with Fran or several times. And so she was hoping to go back. So we don't know if we may have to cancel the Christmas, the actual hotels we were staying at, which is like, I think it was like we're in a life-size gingerbread house. It was something like ridiculously adorable.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with us just all staying at a nice Hampton Inn close. And
Of
we'll
course
just,
you are.
Of course I am. And
You
then
love your Hamptons.
I do. And then we'll spend a night at the Hampton Inn. We'll walk the Christmas market. We'll see it. We'll stay another night. We'll just stay 2 nights and instead of 3. And we'll get to see the things. And then we'll come home. I think that's what'll happen, but I don't know because maybe she will rebound and it'll be good. That'd be the best, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom was having problems. In fact, that's why she went into the hospital. She was having breathing problems and hip stuff. And, then she went into the rehab facility, and that's when the COVID whooshed through. So, yeah, I don't know. Careful with those rehab facilities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
this is a sad time of the year. I always miss my parents at Christmas.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, you'd miss family and if I were human, I would miss my stepmother here. I sometimes miss my stepmother. I miss Nancy a fair amount occasionally, and but I'm also a bit of a monster, so I just sort of keep going.
Oh, you are absolutely
sure.
I won gummies at Moon Tower when I was playing golf, right? Like pot gummies. And they were great. They put me to sleep like a rock. And I just ran out finally. So I've been using them since April. I won a lot. Okay. Wow. That's like 7 months of gummies.
Dang.
Well, I went back on the nightmare inducing melatonin, and I had a dream my best friend died.
Oh no.
And I woke up and I was like, oh, Cheryl, she's alive. But it felt very real, and I'm like, fucking melatonin, man. I need to get more of those gummies.
Do you have the brand or the kind or the that the best minds of our generation aren't curing cancer? They're making really good gummies. So
yeah,
just find that barcode and hit.
Well, it seemed like it was just a Texas thing. And I was hoping when we were in Austin to grab some, but then I heard you can't take it out of state lines. I don't know. I
might be able to help you, Laurie.
Thank you.
And how did you get them home from Moon
I did take
Tower?
them across state lines before. But ignorance was my bliss. Kyle, I need to be put down like a dog every night.
It'll be a pleasure.
Kyle's mom is currently, I think, working a legal marijuana jam, right?
But yeah, she's got some situations going because of some health stuff. So this is not my first time around
gotcha.
a lady and hooking up with some fine drugs.
I will be, if we can plug gigs that are still for comedy clubs that are still open.
Right. I swear to God, I'm calling Boxcar right when we hang up here.
I will be at
Sunday.
the Sacramento Punchline, the December 29th and 30th. And then I will be working a special gig on New Year's Eve in Marin County. And I have that link on my website, killmartin.com. So if you're in the Bay Area, either come see me in Sacramento at the Punchline, Friday, Saturday, I think. Yeah, 29, 30. Yeah, and then 30. Is the 31st a Sunday? It must be, right?
Maybe. 31st of what? It is a Sunday. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So Sunday. Yeah. So, hey, Bay Area, make the drive, or Sacramento Valley. I'll be there. You don't have to drive.
Here's what I'd like to plug. If you guys want for Christmas, Kills Like a Guy beanie or T-shirt, order now at the Max Fun site, their store. If you want Jackie Cation merch. And I'm getting the new Made of Bees T-shirt tomorrow. I have to drive to Orange County and pick them up.
Oh my gosh!
So there'll be a bee hat combo if you are full of rage and made of bees. You can buy that. You can also get. I have DVDs, CDs. Go to JackieCationStore.com or go to JackieCation.com and find your way to the fucking store. But if you order this week, I think it'll be. Wait. Well, no, we have plenty of time. Actually, you could order anytime in the next 2 weeks. You're fine.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. But yeah, you can order stuff. I'm opening for Maria in a variety of one-nighters. Sort of like Oxnard and Irvine and all this stuff. And then she's doing Sketchfest. And I'm opening for her at Sketchfest. And so I pinged Janet Varney asking if maybe I could pick up some extra sets or whatever I was like, no pressure, whatever you can do. And she goes, Bruce told me that Olivia was opening for Maria. And I was like, oh, well, Maria usually doesn't have 2 openers, but I don't know. And she's like, I'm going to tell Bruce. And I was like, you do that. I don't, again, I would like to go to San Francisco on the 27th of January. Because that'll be fun. And I might get to meet my great nephew again. I've only seen him the once. And, they live in Oakland. And, that'd be nice. And plus I never do get to play San Francisco. So I occasionally Throckmorton every 2 or 3 years. I'll get to do the Punchline, but I would like to do Sketchfest but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be there. January 27th. Maria's going to be there for sure. She will definitely be at the Palisade of the Arts or the Palace of the Arts.
Palace of Fine Arts. Yes.
That's it.
Jackie, I would like to thank our Patreons for their continuing support. You know, the $5 and up crew, which is almost everybody, got to listen to us talk to Felicia Michaels, the great Felicia. We have so many of these little chats now. They're like 30 minutes. They're just audio. So the comics don't have to worry about, whatever, they can just show up looking like shit like we do. I do. I'll say.
We don't care.
Yeah, and it was really cool. Felicia's super cool, and I just love her, and it was a lot of fun to talk to her.
They're all so good, these half hours were, but hers was particularly, maybe because it was the last one, but it was so great. It was about stand-up. It was about the road. It was some great stories about doing stand-up in the 80s, and 90s, just really, really good. And I loved it so.
Yeah, so give it a listen. Thank you for those of us who do support us on Patreon or Max Fun, because we need the money, and you like us, and it's nice of you.
And maybe we can do a Zoom. We can do a Zoom for the people.
Let's do a Zoom soon. Yes.
All right. I love it.
All right.
Where are we at here? 57 minutes?
You said the number. I was going to say we could bail out.
Right. But it feels, the only other thing, Kyle, I know, recorded Ana Valenzuela's new album and video, right?
I did. It was quite the adventure.
Okay. And that was Fort Collins. How was Fort Collins, Laurie?
Oh, it was great. It was a lot of fun. A couple of the shows were sold out. I think 2 or 3 were sold out. And the other one felt sold out. It was close. It was really fun. Such a great room. Such a great gig in the hotel. I love the hotel. And yeah, I love it. 100%. Yay.
Yay. Congratulations. And congratulations for Ana Valenzuela having a new album out one day.
Super duper proud of her.
Yeah.
Yep. She also did the Sunday, right? She recorded
that's when
a
we
full
did
set.
the full proper special. Yeah, it was on Sunday.
But did you guys record and film on Friday and Saturday?
I did, although here I'll throw a fun detail in about at the end of the last run, I realized I can't use any of the wides because Anna doesn't have the air purifier on stage during the album taping show.
Oh,
so I realized. So if everybody looks, they'll know all of the wides are from the final show. It was a hilarious thing to realize. And we still have an insane amount of footage, but it was just funny. I was like, oh, there's a telltale purloined letter right there.
It's Horcrux.
That's me peeing on the stage.
It's
displaying dominance. Yes.
On my Horcrux DVD, the guy who shot he was the guy who fixed 45.
Jokes. Oh yeah, Ryan from Black Iris. Yes,
Black Iris. So he did Horcrux, and he also did Staycation, the video on that. And when we were filming Staycation, he said, "Can I lend you my mug, my Yeti mug, which is just red? It doesn't say Yeti on it, but it's not clear." And so, because in Horcrux, I spent a good portion of my time wondering at the level of your beverage, and sometimes it would look different. And I just went with it. And then he goes, because I knew you wouldn't notice. And I said, no, I didn't notice. And if anyone did notice, people know that these are done over several takes. So I would check with Anna, Kyle, because if there's some good wide shots,
she knows about it. So if something's killer, I'll absolutely throw it in. It was just fun to realize it's like, Laurie should put "This Is My House" on the thing.
All right, now I'm leaving.
All right.
Bye.